Great card on Showtime last night, which was headlined by Gervonta Davis taking on Yorioki Gamboa. Of course, a South Florida resident, a Cuban native. A lot of people know Gamboa down here. He's fought recently as, I want to say probably 18 months ago. I remember him fighting at the Miami Fairgrounds. That was a fight that was supposed to be at Marlins Park, and it ended up getting moved, but he got a win there. And this was a nice little opportunity for him. 38 years old. He was fighting for the lightweight championship of the world, taking on Gervonta Davis, who was moving up in weight. Some drama that was surrounding this going into it was a little bit of their lead up of how they crossed paths, but also on the weigh-in day, Gervonta Davis missed weight to start. He ended up making it on the second attempt, but Gervonta Davis, who was going up in weight, 5 pounds up from 130 pounds to 135 pounds, which, only seemed natural already. He's not going to have to make that cut. He's a young man. He was in his early 20s. It's only natural, kind of seeing the little bulky size of him that he was probably going to eventually move up anyway. And so it seemed like that time had come, and he misses weight on the first attempt. And so you're already going into this with a little bit of an eyebrow raised at Gervonta Davis because, look, what's appealing with him is it's so obvious. I mean, that power, that dynamic striking that he brings to the table, he is an exciting guy to watch when all that skill set is put forth. But, you see the relationship with Floyd Mayweather, which has been contentious at times with Mayweather Promotions and him getting fights. But it's impossible to watch Gervonta Davis and not think about Adrian Broner and think about all that potential and think about the kind of striker and the kind of offensive fighter that Adrian Broner was in his early days when he was really on the up and up, when he was steamrolling fools, and everybody thought, man, this guy is going to be the next coming. He is going to be the truth. And, slowly but surely he started moving up weight classes. And, that lack of discipline, not only from outside the ring, kind of worked its way into the lead-up of fights. Adrian's had a fantastic career as far as making money because people care about watching Adrian Broner. He's one of these stars that was almost built of the internet. Always was going to say crazy stuff. Was an unbelievable crossover star with World Star Hip Hop. And a lot of those qualities Gervonta Davis has as well. The guy is a star. I mean, he is a big star in his own right in Baltimore. In Atlanta yesterday, they were selling a bunch of tickets, and people care about watching him. And a lot of the stuff that follows him with this, with the crazy outfits that he's wearing to the ring, the drama that surrounds with is he going to make weight? Is he not going to make weight? What are we going to get? Because you see when those flashes are throughout the ring, it's like, man, this guy seems like a supernova of power. And if he puts it all together, what a stud this guy could be as far as a star in boxing. But, this performance yesterday, it was interesting because he got the 3 knockdowns on Gamboa. But Gamboa gets knocked down. He's a guy who's always been knocked down. I think he's probably at 17 times he's been put on the canvas by the end of that fight in his career. So he's a guy that will get put on the canvas, but he gets back up. He's tough as hell. The thing that was interesting that we learned afterwards, once the fight was going on, was Gervonta Davis was fighting a one-legged opponent. And here was some of the problems. The broadcast was pretty rough last night on Showtime. It felt very distracted, like the 3 guys who I think Showtime has one of the best crews out of all the guys going right now. I love Morinal, Al Bernstein, and Paulie Malignaggi. I don't know if it's because Showtime hasn't been doing many cards, so maybe they're a little bit rusty. Maybe it's just the chemistry hasn't quite been there. But it felt like it was all very disjointed listening to them yesterday. And also with their interpreter, because they were talking about Gamboa in the corner. They go to the second round. Gamboa gets put on the canvas. They go to the corner, and Gamboa is talking about, I can't go. It's my leg. And then the guy goes, is it a shoe? Like somehow shoe gets mentioned in the corner, But Gamboa's talking about he can't put any weight on it. He wants to stop the fight. He can't go forth. And you're noticing as the fight's going on, like his legs buckling a little bit. It looks like an injury, but they are getting caught on this shoe thing. Like they're honed in on the shoe, and so they completely think it's a wardrobe issue. They're talking about the idea of, well, why can't he go back and change the shoes? You can change gloves, which is true. You can, if a glove breaks, you can go back and fix it. I've seen that down here locally where a guy's glove has literally exploded and they've had to go get another glove, and the guy fought with 2 different gloves to finish off a fight. But come to find out, Gamboa was fighting since the 2nd round with a ruptured Achilles. A ruptured Achilles. This dude is such a badass. He went in there with Gervonta Davis raining hell on his chin, on one leg, 38 years old, taking on a young lion, 25 years old, fighting for a world championship, an absolute knockout artist, and he's fighting on one leg. And everybody's sitting there like Stacey McKinley, who's been training in boxing forever. He trains down here. He's doing like a tape-up job to try and support his ankle. Like in the midst of the fight, they're in the 3rd round. Gamboa's got his leg out. McKinley is taping up the leg just so he can stand up straight. And everybody here on the broadcast is talking it like, oh, he's got a loose sole on his foot. No, he had a loose leg. He had no ligament, and he's out there, taking all this punishment. It was such a show in the guts. And then so you go back, it's one of these things where you're watching the fight, and because Gamboa, they have the interpreter for it, like. Obviously, some stuff is getting lost in translation if you don't speak Spanish. And so everybody here is sitting on the broadcast thinking that he has a busted-up shoe. Come to find out he had a busted-up leg, wanted to stop the fight. His trainer talked him out of it. He ends up going forth, getting to the 12th round before he gets stopped. It was, such a show in the guts. And so I went back and watched it after he revealed that. And you're like, really? Like you were able to fight, and you can see, man, he can't put weight on the back of his on the back of his leg. It was crazy. So outside of the incredible show of heart by Gamboa, the fact that he's pushing 40, fought on one leg, this takes us in a backroute way to Gervonta Davis. So what do we have in Gervonta Davis? We have a guy who went up in weight, who's known as a power guy, and. It wasn't the most inspiring performance. Yes, you go and you put a guy on the canvas 3 times. We're maybe picking at things a little bit too harshly, but you can see his output wasn't quite what it probably could have been. Probably didn't get rid of Gamboa as fast as he should have. And now knowing that he fought a guy who was completely hindered the entire fight, basically, and it took him nearly all of that to stop it before the referee looked at Gamboa and finally told him he doesn't have to go on anymore. The question really is Gervonta Davis special? Is this a special fighter? Is he a guy who is going to be one of the bedrock superstars of boxing? Or as the fighters get tougher and as the weight classes go up, is that power going to become a little less special? Is it going to become a little less dynamic? Is he going to have the discipline to get through camps, have himself in the right conditions so that thing is devastating throughout an entire match? And also, is he going to be able to have the special qualities to take on the Lomachenkos or the other kings of the lightweight division? It's an interesting question. I don't know. And you go to the parallels of Adrian Broner. It's like, they've hung out together. They've had relationships. Gervonta's done a little bit of training down here as well. And Adrian is in a good spot in his career because he's always going to have people interested in watching him. And I think Gervonta's of that same ilk because of the Mayweather ties, because of people being intrigued on him. He's excellent on social media. People for a long time are going to care about watching Gervonta Davis fight, but can he be bigger than that? Can he be bigger than just people caring about watching him fight? Can he be an elite fighter? And that question, I think, still remains when you learned about what was going on in that fight as it was all happening.